The table shows the budget used by a young person for running their medium-sized car last year. We can see all of these amounts are actually weekly. So when it says for the weekly total, we just need to add them up. So that's 72.50 added to 55.25 added to 7.75, add that to 23.40, add that to 18.30, add that to $2.65, and finally 21.90, and that gives us $201.75. We now want the average monthly amount to run the car, and we're assuming there's exactly 52 weeks last year. So what we need to do is 201.75 and multiply that by 52 to get a yearly amount, and then divide by 12 because there's 12 months in a year. So we're going to take our last answer, we're going to multiply it by 52, and then we're going to divide it by 12, and that gives us $874.25. For this year, the young person, I keep saying young person, this person obviously has no cats, expects the average weekly amount for depreciation to fall by 10%, the loan repayment to remain unchanged, and all other amounts to increase by 5%. We want to determine the new average weekly amount for depreciation. So depreciation is 72.50. That's going to fall by 10%, which means it retains 90% of its value. Now you could work out 10% and then take it away, that's not a problem. So that's going to be 72.50 multiplied by 0.9, and that gives us 65.25. Then the insurance, well, the insurance is actually going to go up by 5%. The insurance was 23.40, so that's 23.40, and if we're going to increase that by 5%, we need to multiply by 1.05. Remember, that's 105%. So we're going to get 23.40 multiplied by 1.05, 24.57. Calculate the new total weekly amount required to run the car. Okay, so the depreciation we've just said is going to be 65.25. The insurance 24.57. Now the loan's going to stay the same, 55.25, but all these other amounts are going up by 5%. According to the information. So let's just add those. So that's 7.75, and then we've got 18.30, and then we've got 265, and then we've got 21.90, and that's $50.60. So $50.60, and we're going to have to increase that by 5%. So multiply by 1.05 gives us 53.13. So 53.13, that covered these amounts here, and then we've got to add those other ones in. So that's 65.25 added to 55.25 added to 24.57, and then add the total that we just had. And that gives us $198.20. Determine the percentage change in the total weekly amount to run the car from last year. So the actual change there is 198.20, and if we go back here, that was 201.75. So 201.75. So 198.20. If we do the answer, take away 201.75. It's negative, but don't worry about that. Negative $3.55. So it's going to be $3.55 divided by the original amount, which is the 201.75, and then multiply by 100 to turn that into a percentage. So we are going to have 3.55 divided by 201.75 and multiply that by 100. It's 1.76, so we'll say that's 1.76%, correct to 2 decimal places. And we should mention it's a reduction.